I'm Marion, I'm 53 years old, and I suffer from post-traumatic stress, panic attacks and claustrophobia. It was a Saturday night, 2 o'clock in the morning, and a police officer knocked at the door. When he came in, he says, "Oh, your sister's missing," and said that I had arrested a boyfriend. And they were searching his car. They didn't find her for 2 months, and he buried her on the Yorkshire Dales. No, I haven't come to terms with any of it.
Unable to get over her sister's death, Marion's all-consuming grief has taken over her life and left her suffering from severe post-traumatic stress disorder. She's given up work and rarely leaves the house. Someone who's noticed a change in his mum's behaviour since Pamela was killed is her eldest son, Paul.
My mum started to pick up little habits, and she started panicking in closed environments. I mean, it started small, as in cars and little shops and things like that, and then it's gradually escalated.
I start sweating, I shake, and I just think I get very frightened of the situation that I'm in. Because I think the more I try and breathe through a panic attack, the more I can't seem to be able to do it.
She'll just start repeating herself, saying, "I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to get out." And she'll just non-stop repeat that until she's out.
Powerless to control her PTSD, day-to-day activities have become traumatic for Marion.
I need to go out.
She can no longer cope with enclosed spaces, and travelling in cars has become very difficult for her.
Can I go now?
Her son Daryl knows all too well what happens when his mum's anxiety gets out of hand.
She did have a panic attack whilst I was driving the car. I did pull over, we opened the window and we discussed how we could carry on.
And it was like very low ceilings and it was very closed in. And we were driving on the way out and I opened the car door.
Halfway down to Durham, she did try to open the car door with the amount of stress and fear that she had.
Daryl started shouting, "Just get back in." And I said, I can't, I've got to get out, I've got to go. He said, "We need to stay in the car to exit out of the car park."
It's a very horrible thing to witness and not being able to do anything for her.
Marion is haunted by her sister's death every day. Being unable to stop their mum's suffering is taking a toll on the whole family. Her daughter Laura is aware of how her mum's personality has changed since Pamela was killed.
My mum was a very outgoing person, bubbly, always up for a laugh, always the joker to be around.
Me and Laura are very close. We love going shopping together. She always worries about us a lot, I think, and I worry about her.
I want to help her, but I know I can't because it's not something I can get her through. Like, I've tried, we've all tried as a family. We've tried to get her help from hypnotherapy and counsellors, and it's just, nothing seems to have worked.
It's clear Marion's family want their mum back, and they're now more desperate than ever.
I'll be getting married in Turkey. The main obstacle will obviously be getting my mum on an aeroplane to go to this wedding. We need this to happen because it's not going to be the same without having your mum at your own wedding.
I'd really like to go to this wedding, but I think it's going on the aeroplane that's sent us into a panic.
We love it a bit. She has to watch her son get married.
Wouldn't be the same, it wouldn't feel like a wedding like without my mum there, because obviously it's the most important thing to me, my brothers. So it just wouldn't feel right.
We are getting to a point where we don't know what else we can do.
It is devastating. It's heartbreaking to see it like this.
I just want her back to her old self. I want her to enjoy herself, to be able to continue with her life.
I think if the Speakmans can't help me, then I'll just get worse. I think I'll not be able to leave the house because I think the situation will just get bigger and bigger and I'll not be able to face it on my own.
Unable to get over the trauma of her sister's death on her own, Marion's hoping the Speakmans can find a way to help her beat her post-traumatic stress disorder and be at Paul's side on his wedding day.
What's really sad about this case is what actually happened to create the trauma.
Do you ever really get over that? You don't. But there's a difference between grieving and suffering traumatic stress.
The best outcome for me would be to get me better to the person that I used to be.
Hopefully she can pick herself up and get the courage to get through the day.
It's going to be difficult to make her understand that you've got to let it go. However, her sister was the victim, and now Marion has become the victim, and that's what's got to stop.
Mum of 3, Marion, has spent the last year struggling to cope with the tragic death of her sister.
No, I haven't come to terms with any of it.
And is suffering from extreme anxiety and claustrophobia.
She'll just start repeating herself, saying, I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to get out, I need to get out. And she'll just non-stop repeat that until she's out.
Desperate to get over her symptoms for the sake of her family.
I'd really like to go to this wedding, but I think it's going on the aeroplane that's sent us into a panic.
She's come to the Speakmans for help.
Marion and Paul, thank you for coming to see us today.
Thank you.
What is it we can help you with?
I suffer from post-traumatic stress.
And what's that as the result of?
My sister got murdered last year, and now I suffer from panic attacks and enclosed spaces.
Pamela's killer was convicted of manslaughter and jailed for 18 years.
Did this start when you found out, or what? Can you just talk us through it? Because obviously you're saying that but can you just talk us through what happened so we can understand how it started?
How things happened with my sister somehow just got into my mind because she was buried and she couldn't get out. And now if I go into places, I feel like I'm trapped and the doors are shut and I can't get out.
Right.
From everything we've heard from the court, I've just been like trying to visualise what my sister went through.
That's right.
Yes.
Yeah.
And you've created, what's actually happened for you to have post-traumatic stress is that you've actually created almost a movie in your head of what happened. And from that, and the replay that you've created of what, you've been your own director of that movie.
Yeah.
This is the knock-on effect. So we understand that.
Yeah.
So essentially, this movie that you've created, based upon everything that you've heard, you're replaying on a regular basis. But in this movie, it's not your sister that gets killed, it's you.
Maybe.
And in this movie, you're buried alive,
Right.
which is why you feel you've got a problem with confined spaces.
Yeah.
I first noticed when the murder trial was on, you refused to get in the elevator.
And that's the first time that you noticed?
That's the first, apart from little things like being in a car, she would start hyperventilating a bit, but...
Obviously, Pamela's not here now,
Yeah.
but...
Were you close to her?
When I was younger, growing up, I was dead close. I used to stay at a house all the time, nearly every weekend.
So can I ask you, Paul, if we can ask Pamela, what would she think about your mum?
She would probably tell her to snap out of it.
She would.
Would she?
She would probably laugh about it, to be honest.
You've actually been forced almost to grieve for your auntie every single day because of the residual pain and suffering it's left. Because most people, they die and we grieve and we never forget them and we're sad at first, but then the tide turns and we start to celebrate their life. But you never getting to that point because the post-traumatic stress disorder that your mum's going through is like a consistent reminder, not of your auntie's life. It's a consistent reminder of your auntie's death.
Oh, it is. It is. It's right. You're bang on.
So when was the last time, Marion, you thought about Pamela in a good way?
So sometimes I still have a smile about the things that she said because she had a good sense of humour. And I still remember little remarks that she said. And I was saying to Laura, I can remember when Auntie Pamela doing this, and that would make her smile.
And that's just sometimes?
Sometimes.
And how often do you think about what happened to her?
Daily.
Okay. And how old was she when she died?
55.
Okay. So you've got 55 years of really good memories with your sister. And you've got almost a year of horrific memories. And all you're focusing on is the last year.
I try and visualise what she went through.
Okay. So what you're saying, Marion, is that Pamela died horrifically, and that happened once, but you're doing it every single day since. Seeing your mum, or losing your mum over the last year, as you've done, what are your worries for the future if things don't change?
I kind of feel like I've lost part of her, like the bit that you want, the fun bit, the loving bit, the confident bit. I'm due to be getting married in 6 weeks in Turkey.
And do you think she won't be there?
Honestly,
That must be absolutely crushing.
well, it will be. What's wedding photos without your mum in them?
So as it stands today, you couldn't go?
I couldn't even get on the bus or taxi to the airport. It's too far. But I think in my mind I would have to do it. But even going through the airport, the fear's just... But I don't want to miss my son's wedding, you know.
So as it stands right now, you must have massive conflict.
Massive. Huge.
The entire family's going. And I don't think there's anybody not worried about you getting on this plane or trying to get on.
So your entire family will go and looking at a joyous event, a celebration, but your entire family is worried about your mum. Paul, is this the first significant family, full family celebration post your auntie's death?
Yeah. Yeah. It's kind of a bringing together as well.
It certainly sounds like you all deserve it.
It's been... I mean, last year was just the worst year ever. And this year, hopefully, might be a bit better, but at the minute, it's just the same as last year.
I can understand. And I know you said that all the family was worried about your mum getting on the plane.
Yeah.
Have you ever actually face-to-face told her? Because obviously today's all about being honest.
We try it all the time. That's the first thing we tried was peer pressure. We tried to pressure her into going different places. We dabbled in hypnotherapy, seen different counsellors, but none of it has any effect whatsoever. None of it.
When you talk to your mum and tell her, and you said we tried peer pressure, how brutally honest are you?
I would say I was honest.
Because I'd actually like you to tell your mum and speak to your mum and tell her exactly. I get your auntie's died and we're not taking that away. That's tragic.
From
It should
anybody,
never
it's all-
happened, and
it's
it's
horrendous.
terrible. But that was something that was out of your control. Whereas I would expect that as her children, this must be enormously frustrating, because that was horrible and it should have been left as one event that you can all move away from and move on from. But like I say, you're not being allowed to do that.
No, it's like kind of reminds us of a slug drill.
But I'd like you to tell your mum exactly what this is doing to you, exactly what it means to you, the fact that she's suffering as she is.
Well, it means you're going to miss out. You're going to miss out on your grandson's life, basically. This is the main thing that concerns me. He's 6 months old now, so you haven't really missed out on a lot. But in the future, you want to see him grow up. You want them taking places, you want to take them on holiday. So you need to get over what you're going through now. You need to do it, you need to.
I know. I'm going to try.
You can't just try, you have to.
You must be really frustrated because all I know about is Pamela's death, which is why you're here today. I don't know anything about her life, but there's a whole lot of people out there that have enjoyed life with Pamela for a long time.
Yeah.
And you for 52 years. But I'm not hearing any of that. And when you stop grieving, you start looking at someone's life and celebrating their life. And I don't, for some reason, Marion, you've taken this upon yourself. So how would that feel for you, knowing that you've got all your family in Turkey, apart from your mum, apart from the one that you want there?
It's supposed to be the happiest day of your life. But how can it be when the woman that you love, like your mum, isn't there? You're supposed to be sitting at the head table. There's going to be an empty seat.
I'm watching you, Marion, and you're listening, but I actually don't think you're hearing your son's words.
Oh, I am hearing what he's saying, but I'm trying to get my head around it at the same time.
I know that obviously you've got 2 other children. We're going to invite them to come and join us now because we'd like to hear how this is affecting them.
Right.
I just want it to be back to herself, to be able to like enjoy going out places without sweating and a heart racing and getting upset.
The biggest thing that we want to achieve is for her to go on this aeroplane to go to my brother's wedding.
I really appreciate you joining us, Daryl and Laura. We've been listening to your mum and Paul, and we really wanted to hear from your perspective how it's affecting you.
I mean, it's affecting us all massively. She's completely changed in the last year. Obviously, she's become a lot more stressed. She's not going out and going shopping. She's developed this massive fear and claustrophobia that's overtaken her whole life, to be honest.
So, Laura, you live with your mum, don't you? You're the only one that's left at home.
Yeah.
Would that mean that because you're at home, you're sort of feeling responsible for your mum now?
I always feel like I've got to look after her.
So how does that inhibit your life?
I don't want to leave her. I don't want to go out anyway because I'm always worried what's going to happen to her when I'm out.
Do you feel guilty? Were you aware of the fact that Laura feels guilty?
Yeah.
How does that make you feel, Marion?
Guilty. She rings or she texts every hour. Are you crying? How are you? What you doing? And I shouldn't put that pressure on to Laura. She's a young girl. She should be going out and enjoying herself.
Yes, you should.
Yeah.
You're missing out on life.
You're missing out on life, and it's actually obligation. You're not doing it because you're thinking, great, I'm going to spend another day with my mum and shadow her because she's going in the garden. It's obligation. And that in itself is a big weight on your shoulders, no matter how much you love your mum. You know, and at 23 years of age, yeah, of course you should be spending time with your mum, and that's fantastic. But they should be really good times and not sort of feeling like you're a minder or a carer, and that it's your responsibility to look after your mum. I know you've written letters to one another. Could we ask you, Daryl, to please read your letter to your mum? Why are you shaking your head?
Because that's probably something I don't want to hear.
That's
It's
exactly
just
why,
emotional.
and that's exactly why we do this.
Yeah.
It might be something that you don't want to hear, but let's be honest, for your 3 children sat there, it's something that you really need to hear.
Yeah, I know. I just think it'll be emotional more than anything.
And Daryl, can you read it to your mum, please?
Yeah. Mum, we want you to get better as you're our rock, the glue that holds our family together. We want you to be yourself again and not fear into going into different places. We need you to go to Paul's wedding without panicking or having the stress. At first we thought that you were going through the emotions of loss and grievance of Auntie Pamela, but we didn't realise that it developed into this. Remember that we are here to help and support you through this, and we'll do whatever it takes. to help you cope.
Laura, could we ask you to read your letter to your mum?
Too emotional to read her own letter, Laura's asked Paul to read hers.
To Mum, I hope things can go back to normal after your treatment, as I really miss going shopping, going to the cinema and going for meals. But most of all, I miss the old you. Lots of love, Laura.
Nice, thank you.
And your letter, please, Paul.
Dear Mum, I'm writing this letter, and it's surprisingly easy to write. All the family are getting desperate for you to get back to how you used to be. Please try your best to get through it and overcome your stresses. We look forward to our wedding and seeing you there.
So it's your turn now.
Right.
If you won't mind reading your letter, Marion.
I really, really want this to work because I don't want to miss Paul and Lisa's wedding, and not be in the photos will be very, very sad, especially since I'm your mum. I want to be there for you all and bring back the mum that you all grew up with. Paul, Darryl and Laura, you have all not just supported me through this traumatic time, but all of your lives, and you have been amazing. I just want to thank you, and I'm so proud of you all. I want to be able to put this behind me and move on with my life.
Well, I think you've all suffered far too much and for far too long. And I think today it's going to end. We'll do our very best to get your mum at your wedding, Paul. So let me ask you, Marion, are you ready for change?
Definitely.
Okay. Well, if you leave Marion with us, we can start our therapy.
I'm really hoping that a few of the emotions of the pain that a family is suffering actually filtered through today in mediation to make our job a little bit easier. But who knows?
We spoke to my mum, as we've never really spoke to her before.
I think it's starting to sink in that it's affecting us and not just her.
I think my mum's finally accepted and listened to what we're all saying.
It's not going to be easy, but I really hope we can make a difference, because a whole load of people are suffering and there's a wedding.
Today, a terrible tragedy.
Police officer knocked at the door and he came in and he says, "Oh, your sister's missing." They didn't find her for 2 months.
A woman tortured by grief.
I start sweating, I shake. I just think I get very frightened of the situation that I'm in.
So traumatised by her sister's death, Marion's life is ruled by anxiety. Now, as her eldest son is about to get married, she's worried she's going to let him down.
I'd really like to go to this wedding, but I think it's going on the aeroplane that's sent us into a panic.
Can Nick and Eva find a way to change this distressing situation?
You said earlier, Marion, that you relive these events every single day.
I think I'll try and visualise what she went through,
Okay.
Okay.
what she was thinking at the time.
Why is it that you want to try and experience what she went through?
I don't want to try and experience what she went through. I'm just trying to think to myself what she went through, what pain she was in, and
And the benefit of that to anybody is?
nothing really. It's just my thoughts, I think.
Okay. So you trying to imagine what pain she went through, that's not benefiting anybody?
No.
Okay. Would it perhaps assist Pam, do you think, knowing that you shared it with her? Is that what you're trying to do?
I don't really know. I don't know myself why I try and do that.
Okay. But you see it every day. So
Basically every day.
So describe what you go through, if you don't mind.
What you
Sorry
say.
to put you through this, but
No,
this
it's
is
okay.
I don't want you to do it once.
I try, from what I heard from court,
Okay.
I try and visualise what he done to her.
Okay. Ever since you discovered what happened, your life has become smaller and it's got worse and it's affected the people that love you. So what we're trying to understand, Marion, is what's the benefit of all this? Because I know you're trying to get to the bottom of what your sister felt. But will you ever get to the bottom of it? No.
No.
Never.
No.
You'll never get to the bottom of it. You can ruminate on this for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
You will never solve the problem.
No.
But what you are doing, you're causing a problem to people that are still alive and people that love you and rely on you. And that's what I'm finding difficult to understand.
Right. Yeah.
And it's as though when we spoke with your family earlier, it's as though you've switched off to them because all you're focusing on is this problem of trying to understand what your sister went through.
Yeah. You're right.
You see, and ultimately, and sadly, she died.
Yeah.
And does it really matter what happened before then? She died in a horrible way, but we can't do anything about it.
No. No, I can't. Can't do anything about it.
So you know the end result. So trying to find out what happened beforehand,
Well, I know.
who will that benefit?
Particularly when there's no solution.
So if we could ask her, and I really wish we could, but if we could ask your Pam, what would she say about this situation right now?
I think she would say, what's happened has happened, and move on. Get over it and get on with your life. I think that's what she would say.
And what I heard earlier is your family saying that to you as well.
Yeah, I know. They've tried. I think they've tried to say that for a long time.
Okay, so you tell me now, what has to happen right now, Marion, for you to let this go?
I just need to change my way of thinking, I think, so I can just move on
That's the answer.
and get over it.
So what has to happen right now?
I just need to change.
And can you do that right now?
Yes. I'm ready. I need to do this for everybody. Not just me, for the whole family.
I think you owe it to your sister too, to be honest
Oh,
with you.
yeah, definitely.
And for your family, because as it stands...
Because I think she'll be thinking, why are you holding on to me? Why can't you just move
Well,
forward?
there was one victim, or there should have only been one victim, and that one victim is enough. One victim is more than enough.
Oh, I know.
But the difference now is that you've become a victim,
You became the second victim.
Yeah.
and your children are victims.
3, 4 and 5. And what I'm seeing is that, as sad as it is what happened to your sister, you're disrespecting 52 years that she was alive.
Yeah. See where you're coming from.
Because we've got this, this scrapbook that you brought.
This is your book, isn't it?
Yeah.
What was the purpose of this book?
It was just a personal thing for me because I had a newspaper cuttings and things, and I thought I just wanted to put them into a book.
How often do you look at this book?
Maybe it's about once every couple of weeks.
In simple terms, you're not looking at 52 years of someone's life that you loved. You're looking at 12 months of misery
Yeah.
here.
That's what it is, isn't it?
And that's why you're stuck in time.
And I've got to be honest, if I was your sister and thought, you know, whatever happened probably happened in the space of half an hour maybe.
Yeah.
And then I've done 55 years of making people smile, of making children, of meeting people, talking to people, socialising with people. And all there is to show for that,
Is
Is
this?
that?
I'd be absolutely devastated.
Yeah, you would be.
I would, I really would. I'd be like, is that all my life
It
is
is.
worth?
That's it, that's my memory.
Is that a good memory then, is it, that book? No. I've never thought of it that way. Till now.
Now you've seen it that way, how does it feel? That's right, Marion, just let it go. You're letting this go, you're not letting Pamela go. And at some point you think if you let this go, you're letting your sister go, and that's not true. That's not true at all.
Your sister's worth more than this.
I understand what you mean. It's just hard to let go of. I don't know, because these are like last memories I had of her, and they weren't happy memories, and that's where I'm stuck at.
That's it. But these aren't the memories of her.
No.
These are memories of something that happened to her. This isn't memories of Pamela.
This is memory of Pamela's death, but that was a year ago.
And it's been hard for everyone in your family. I could see that today. But they're trying to move on, but they can't because of you.
I want to move on, no. Because I need to move on. I can't seem to move on.
Well, I'm looking at you, and you look like you've started to move on to me. I want to make it clear to you that you're not letting go of Pamela. You're letting go of some rubbish that you made up since she died. That's all you're doing.
Right.
You've got 52 years of good memories, and you're not visiting those memories because of this rubbish that you made up afterwards.
I know.
But if you can give us a good reason to cling on, we'll listen.
Oh, I don't have a reason to cling on to it.
Okay.
Tell me about a time when you laughed with your sister. Tell me what happened.
We laughed at the wedding the last time I seen her, and she was holding her granddaughter, I think. That was that memory of her at the wedding.
Yeah.
Her dancing on the dance floor. Because she was a sexy little dancer.
Was
She
she?
just do her moves. A sexy moves.
What are you holding on to?
I don't know. I don't even think it's letting go. I think it's just, I just feel panicky. I just don't know why.
Because you're letting go.
I don't know. I don't know if it's because I'm letting go or if I just feel the way I did when I came in.
Do you believe that if you let go of these negative feelings, you'll be letting go of Pamela? Yes or no?
Yes, probably. Yes.
Well, that's why you're panicking. So, this started with you making this reenactment in your mind of what happened to her. How does this reenactment finish?
It's the same. I'll try and picture what he's done.
What he's done to her, yeah?
Right.
Okay.
Then I picture him putting her in the car,
Okay.
going down to Halifax,
Okay.
putting her in the grave,
Okay.
and that's where it ends.
And that's where it ends. Okay.
That's where it did end.
Okay. So what I'd like you to do with that, that whole situation, you see it in reverse.
So, but we're going to ask you to close your eyes. Should I just draw a vision board?
Yeah, go on
Quickly.
then. Yeah,
So-
go on.
So right now, the way you play this movie, and it is like making a movie. So there's him doing what he did. That's the way you see it now. All we want you to do, we're going to ask you to close your eyes, is we're going to ask you to see it backwards. So all this is all in reverse, all going backwards. So even the car's driving backwards, he's walking backwards, and it ends up at the wedding. I'll give her some nice long eyelashes because I noticed she has mega eyelashes in her pictures. So I want you to close your eyes for me now. I don't want you to open your eyes until I tell you to do so. And do this as fast as you can. Don't worry about too much detail. But literally, the movie that you've been playing, I'd like to see it all going backwards as fast as you can, almost like as though it's double time.
Go on.
Okay,
Well done. Keep your eyes closed. Keep your eyes closed. So I'd like you to do it again, if you will.
But faster.
But do it faster than the last time.
And don't forget, it finishes with her doing the silly face at you and you laughing.
That's right.
Done.
Okay, keep your eyes closed. Twice as fast as what you've just done.
Okay, well done.
Well done, Marion, and then just slowly open your eyes.
I want you to look at the memory of what you just told us about previously and tell us what's changed.
Just back at the wedding when I was last seen her.
I'd like you to think about what happened to your sister. And when we talked about that previously, you got obviously very upset and anxious. Repeating that and seeing that now, do you feel more anxious or do you feel any anxiety?
No, I don't feel more anxious about. I felt a lot more anxious before.
But can you think about that now and see it without all those negative emotions?
I'm going back to the party now.
Okay. Well, that worked then. Brilliant, well done.
And that tells us that you've done your Pamela proud. Because you remember,
I want to, yeah.
You remember now how she would have wanted to be remembered. And
I want the happy days with Pamela, not the sad. I'm staying at the party with her.
Okay, that sounds good to me.
in that case, what we'd like to do is that we would like to get together with your family now, and we'd like to celebrate Pamela's life and the start of a new one for you.
Yeah.
Does that sound all right?
That sounds brilliant to me. I think we're very well, and I feel quite excited about my future now. Paul, Daryl, Laura, it's just going to be over the moon that we've got the man back.
She was very, very stubborn, and there was almost an element of her that said, if I let this go, then I'm letting my sister go. And you could see that in her, that I can't do that, I can't do that.
But we did not relent. We kept giving her more and more and more evidence as to why she shouldn't hold on to this. She was never the victim, but she was acting like it. And when she finally accepted that, it just went.
53-year-old Marion has suffered from PTSD and panic attacks since her sister was killed over a year ago.
I start sweating, I shake, and I just think I get very frightened of the situation that I'm in.
Her anxiety is so severe, it's stopping her boarding a plane to Turkey for her eldest son Paul's wedding.
We need this to happen because it's not going to be the same without having your mum at your own wedding.
With her treatment session over, the Speakmans have brought Marion to Heaton Park in Manchester. They believe that it's time for Marion to leave her grief in the past and start to celebrate her sister's life. Little does she know that her whole family are waiting to surprise her. Pamela's sons and Marion's older sister Deborah have made the journey to support her, but Paul's anxious.
Well, I haven't heard from my mum now for 4 or 5 hours. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully she's responded well to treatment, but only time will tell. I'll just have to keep my fingers crossed for now.
How are you feeling?
I think it's going to make us cry, that violin.
I'll tell her to stop it.
For a whole year, all Marion has been able to think about is the tragic end to her sister's life. But with the help of the Speakmans, she's managed to control her feelings of anxiety and panic.
So tell everybody how you're feeling.
Excited, happy, a lot happier than when I came down here.
I have to say though, you were challenged, weren't you?
Yes, a big challenge. Oh, sorry.
But we do like a challenge.
Just this morning, Marion's disorder was stopping her travelling to Turkey for her son's wedding. Now it's time to give Paul the news he's been hoping for.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Are you going to Turkey?
Oh, yes, I'm right now.
God, how can you thank somebody for doing something like that?
God.
That means everything now.
No, we did it because we wanted an invite.
Yeah.
That's any photographs.
Now it's time to celebrate your Pamela's life, isn't it? It is, isn't it? It is.
It is, it is.
And to celebrate your new start as well. So we've got some little tea lights that we wanted to just release with you all as a little sign of leaving the past behind and starting afresh.
This is a big step for Marion. By choosing to celebrate her sister's life, she can begin to let go of her grief and start to look forward to a future with her family.
This is for you, Pamela. You'll always be in my heart. Love you. Forever.
Just for the future and happiness.
It's time to move on.
And I think your wedding's brilliant because it's just such a great celebration for you all. New start in a great place.
Coming together.
Yeah, came at a great time. Right, we're going to love you and leave you.
Okay, thanks for all your help.
It's been great spending the day with you.
Yeah, it has. We just want to hear about all your great things and all the times that you smile from now on in.
I'll send you some photos.
Please do. Please do. We'd
You
love
make
to
sure
see
you
them.
do.
Oh, really good.
You make sure you do.
Thanks, Miss. Take care. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Bye. Bye.
I am so happy and I am so proud. The Marion that we saw at that family reunion was not the same lady that walked in this morning to our home.
Oh, I feel it's fantastic knowing I can go abroad, get on that plane and just be part of the family again.
You can tell just by the way she's talking, she's a lot more happy. Her face is whole brighter, really.
Her eyes a little.
Yeah.
I think for me to see Paul's face when we asked her the question in front of him about going to Turkey and she said, yeah, of course I'm going to Turkey, that was brilliant.
And Paul was close to tears. In fact, I think he was in tears, Paul. He's just so happy. Because it's been such a long time now, I think I've been miserable. But now I can feel like a weight's been lifted.